Going, guys? Hope you're all doing well, staying safe. I just have to give a shout out and give credit where credit's due. I just partnered up with my boy Farah and his business, The Grizzly Fitness. You can use my discount code DLAVA6. That is DLAVA, the number 6IX, for 15% off your protein shakes and other supplemental needs. This is insane. I have my own discount code, guys. This is absolutely fantastic. Love doing business with you, Farah. This is something truly new to me, and I can't wait to keep this going with you, bro. The Grizzly Fitness, check them out. Use my discount code for 15% off your protein and supplemental needs. And yeah, have a great day, everyone. Keep the likes and comments rolling. Your boy's pumping out content. Let's keep it going, guys. Love you. Much love. Take it easy. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I have a very special guest. It's Neema Nazeri, Neema Naz for short. He was born and raised in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He is Persian and known for being a mega social media personality, an actor, and also a writer. He has accumulated 380,000 followers on his Instagram account and over 642,000 on his TikTok account. His first love and inspiration for comedy stemmed from watching Canadian Indian actor and comedian Russell Peters. He began his professional acting career in 2017 and starred as the character Rafiq in the Amazon Prime series The Boy. He grew his content creation career back in 2014, where he decided to drop out of university in order to pursue comedy and acting full time. And it wasn't until 2022 that he began to tour professionally. He's famously known for doing his hilarious impressions of people from different cultures and popular ones as well. People especially love his impression of Gary Vee, who is a very famous social media personality as well. Also, people find it hysterical when he collabs with his mother on his social media platforms and integrates her in his posts and videos as well. In general, people know and have a love for him all over Canada for his lighthearted, funny skits and impressions of famous figures and people from various cultures. Recently, he was one of the acts for Howie Mandel in Windsor, Ontario, performing in the Caesars Palace Hotel and Casino. And now, Mr. Neema Naz joins me live. How are you doing, my friend?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, good. So,
Happy to be.
how did you like the intro?
I was fucking. Am I allowed to swear?
Go for it. I might get demonetized, but it's fine.
Oh, it's okay, man. I'll try not to, so you don't get demonetized.
Thank
Um,
you.
first word comes out of my mouth is a swear word.
It's fine.
Good, man. Very extensive, very descriptive intro, and I like it. I like the long descriptive intros.
Yeah, so
It means you care. It means you've done the research.
I've done the research. I've done the
Yeah,
research for a long time. It just I gotta nail it on the head, It's a
yeah,
special
yeah. Of
time.
course. I posted you on my Snap story, by the way. So
Oh, no way. Thank you. I
yeah,
appreciate it, man.
little Zoom action.
Yeah, so after our interview, I hope you can post this link to on your Instagram as well. I appreciate it as well. So yeah, so Nima, like, how are you doing, my friend? What's new with you and your content?
And everything's doing fine. I've been working on my health a lot, which is good. Because if you don't have your health in order, then you can't really get your content and career in order either, right? So
Correct.
health is wealth, and that's currently what's been my priority, and that's actually fueled my career to become better and more efficient as well. So
Yeah, that's good to hear, man.
yeah.
Also, I wanted to know, like, I know this is a while back, but during COVID, like 19, what did you do to stay like active in the social media realm as a prominent influencer?
Oh, I just doubled down, and I was like, this is gonna be my everyday thing from now on.
So
Um,
did you just like start like growing your content even more so because you were indoors?
Yeah, 100%. I was like, I have nothing else to worry about, so might as well just go harder on this aspect of my career, which
True.
which is good because it helps, it's like the foundation to building your brand and your audience.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And especially because, I do stand up, I do a lot of live shows as well.
Hmm.
So it helps fuel that kind of platform as well. By
Hmm.
building a brand and building your audience, naturally when you want to do live shows, the goal is to bring the viewers that are watching online to the live shows. And that's how you kind of generate income and you generate your brand and um yeah.
Yeah, that's great to hear, man. And also, like, I wanted to know, and many people do want to know, like, what made you kind of interested to get into content creation, kind of at a time when it was just at the early stages of it, just never had really people thought of going into it. What made you kind of go into it?
Well, I started in 2014, so pretty much like that was the YouTube era where
YouTube era,
micro
right?
content wasn't really a thing at the time.
Right.
Vine was like was popping off at that time, I think, right? So that
True.
was like one of the first short form platforms that really took off. But I was inspired by the YouTube era of content, like content creators, like pranksters and street interviews, skits that people posted online. And then I was in school in university studying kinesiology, and I was like, bro, I got to do something I love, or else I'm gonna be miserable the rest of my life. And so
Correct.
that's why I dropped out after first year to
Hmm.
pursue my passion, which is comedy and acting and content creation, everything. So that was my start in 2014, and I started doing everything at the same time, making videos, doing stand up, everything, all that stuff.
I see, I see. And when you started out, did you have like in the back of your mind, like, okay, like I dropped out of university, like this is a risky path. Like, did that kind of ever linger your mind?
Yeah, of course. Like I knew it was risky from the start, but I
Hmm.
realized, life is too short, and if I'm gonna, like I'm someone who I can't really take orders from people. I need to like do something for myself in order to fulfill my happiness and to feel satisfied. And so I'm lucky that I realized that early in my life. I was only like 19 years old.
Hmm.
So I feel like I'm an anomaly in a way. Like, not many people at my age figure out what they want to do.
Exactly
On,
right.
right? It takes them even longer. They have to go through trials and tribulations, do some degrees, get some fucking sorry, get some diplomas or whatever it is, and then they pursue their dreams. But for me, I was like, man, if I don't do this now, I'm gonna regret it later in my life. And I think regret is one of the saddest things to feel as a human
Yeah,
being. So,
honestly, it is, man. Like, like you kind of were one of the first few people I've seen as a Persian, because we're both Persian, so we
oh,
can,
you're Persian too.
yes, I am
Oh, so
Persian.
you were okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were Italian or like
No, no,
Portuguese.
no. I look European, but no,
Yeah, you do very. Yeah.
I am Persian. I am Persian. My last
Okay.
name's
Okay.
Pakistani. It's Persian, from
Yeah. Yeah.
Labasoon.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
We can both relate to this stereotype, and many of us Persians, we grew up with the whole, uh, stereotypes of you have to be an engineer, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be a doctor in order to be
Yeah.
successful, right?
Of course.
But when you dropped out of university, I started following your content right from like when I was literally in high school. Like you were like the first person, even when you were like mediocre, just coming up the charts. I was
Yeah.
following you, and
Nice.
you kind of broke that boundary. And I'm like, and I told my dad, I'm like, Dad, like I see this guy, and he's like, okay, like son, like don't even
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
about it. You
What are
know
you
what I
talking
mean?
about?
Because you
Chimigi.
right,
What do you say?
Chimigi, right,
Yeah.
Chimigi,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But now you see this whole digital era and age just grow with social media influencers. I'm starting to do this just for fun, and I can't believe I actually have you on the show because when I emailed your management team 3 weeks ago, I was like, okay, Daniel, like he's huge, like he's not gonna respond back. Like this is you're totally going on a limb here. And then I got the call, like the email. I'm like, am I like dreaming? Like what the hell is happening?
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, he's after his like, show, you can come on your show. And I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. I'll take anything off, time off work, time off school because I'm in university.
Okay.
I'll do this just for him. So I
Nice.
really appreciate you, man. I really do love you for
Yeah.
you and your content.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, and we're happy to do it too. And it's my brother is the one who manages me. So,
Oh, nice,
yeah,
nice. Yeah, I got to talk to your brother then. Yeah, he's a very nice guy.
yeah.
Um,
So that's why it's a dynamic duo. Because he's older than me, and he obviously has the best interest in me, and vice versa, because we're brothers, and there's that trust factor there. And so our
yeah.
goal is to always give back to the community as much as possible, because it's what I would have wanted when I was first coming up. So
Hmm. Yeah, I
yeah.
see, man. That's good. That's good. Like when you first started, and like right now, in my opinion, you're like the number one stand-up comedian, a content creator that's Persian in all of Canada, and that's really huge for me to have you on. Like that's insane.
Means a lot. Yeah.
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 So
Happy to do it.
um you're really famous for your skits and impressions. Which one is your all-time favorite to do? Do you have any, like favorites you do that you like go back and you say, "Hey, I like watching that video."
Um, it's tough because I like them all. Obviously,
Yeah. I
enjoy
like
doing.
the hockey. I like the hockey
Yeah,
guy.
hockey ones.
You
Yeah,
a
yeah.
hockey.
Start seeing the boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, every single character or impression I do is an extension of who I am because of the people I grew up around, growing up. Obviously, when I was from childhood till now.
Mhm.
But yeah, man. I mean, like, there's phases. Like, I literally did a story on this on my Instagram like a couple weeks ago, where I was like, because people ask me this all the time, like, what's your favorite character to do or favorite impression? And my answer to that is like, I go through phases where I'm like, one week I love doing this accent or this character, but then the
Mhm.
next week I'm like completely, shifting to this one and the
I
other one.
see.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
No, I get
but
what you mean.
yeah, like right now, it's currently the Filipino accent is one of my favorites to do.
Yeah, that's really
Character.
yeah.
Because that one's the one I'm trying to work on the most. So, yeah, man, that one. Obviously, the Persian one is like the OG one that I
Yeah.
started with from the
Bobak Markarian.
ball back, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it just phases, but yeah, they're all great. Like Gary V, obviously, that was one of the first ones that really blew me up
Yeah, yeah,
on a large
that's
scale.
mhm.
So yeah, obviously, I have to give a lot of credit for that one too.
Yeah, and I even saw you met Gary V himself, right?
I did. Yeah, that was cool. Last year, for his first ever NFT conference, it was in
Mhm.
Minnesota at
Mhm.
the Minnesota Viking Stadium.
Yeah, yeah.
He invited me to come on stage with him, pretty much like before he goes on as him, doing an impression of him, which was so dope in front of 4,000 people. It was crazy. And yeah, and then I met him afterwards, chatted for a bit, hung out, and yeah, it
Oh,
was
that's really cool. Like you just, social media is it's funny, Nima. Like you can relate to this and you can speak on it, but you just post one video and the reception could be so much well received from the other side that the actual person you're impersonating could see it and invite you
yeah.
to Minnesota. Like that's
I
the
know, yeah,
beauty of it.
literally. But like, that's
Like,
the thing that's been the theme of everything I've done from the beginning of when things start to pop off on social media specifically doing micro content. I realized from the beginning, if you just stay, if you go specific to something that is like like strong for you, something that the most,
right.
eventually, inevitably, it'll work out. Something like it'll pop off. Someone will see it. You'll get recognized for it. And it also it's a long game, right? Like literally Gary V's words, like you gotta have patience. You gotta think in decades, right? It's like you gotta think long term and not worry about the short term. But the only thing you're supposed to worry about in the short term is just to get the content out.
No,
You know,
that's for sure.
just
Yeah.
stay consistent and just keep pumping shit out. And then eventually, over like a year, a 2 year period, you're doing a podcast, like maybe after 257 episodes, all of a sudden something pops off, right? But then you don't
Exactly.
do that
Right.
until you keep going. And so that's kind of been my theme since the beginning, is just keep going, and then eventually something will happen. And it's been working out. Like, you literally, like, I met Gary V, I met Alex Hormozy, David Goggins has DM'd me, you know what I'm saying? Like, fucking there's so many people that I've impersonated, that have either seen my videos, interact with me, met them
Yeah.
in person.
Like you
And
were on
so
you had a US tour if I'm not mistaken, right? You had a tour in the US or
yeah, I did a mini like show, mini run of shows in the
yeah.
US. It was an extension of my Canadian tour that I did last year, which
Okay.
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the plan, obviously, like, we're planning another big tour for early 2025, which will be more worldwide.
Oh,
Uh,
cool. Okay.
and yeah, so yeah, all this
Yeah,
is possible just from posting content on social media.
I'm
If I
just
didn't post social media, like no one would know who I am. So how could you sell tickets?
yeah, yeah, exactly. But I'm still waiting for you to get that Netflix special. I hope that's in the reach. That's probably in the reach in the near future.
One
See,
day. I mean, I don't know when, but I'm not
it'll
attached to
happen.
it either, because it's like, once again, just by doing what I'm doing now, I've gotten a lot of great opportunities, and they're gonna continue to come.
Hmm.
Uh, and yeah, it's just the next thing for me. It's like I'm not attached to one certain milestone, right? Because
Right.
like once the Netflix special comes and it's done, like, what's next, right? You got to keep thinking. You got to keep thinking forward, and
Yeah, exactly.
you could enjoy it in the moment,
Yeah.
but like you still have to think ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Like keep thinking forward. Like that's what I'm doing. Like I'm saying, okay, I have Neema, but what can I do to bring in like another guest or another speaker? Just keep growing myself as a person, as a creator, similar to what you want to do, right? And to many of us creators out there. So Neema, I wanted to know, like, what does a day in the life of Neema Naz look like? What does it like? What's your daily routine for coming up with creative content strategies? Because you come up with hilarious bits that I can't even get enough of. But what does it go like?
Like what's the goal for my comedy?
Like, how do you come up with those creative ideas? Like, how do you come up with
Oh,
like Babak Markarian? How do you come up with this hockey guy? Where does that stem from?
right. Like I said before, it's just an extension of like who I was raised around. Because like, I get inspired by life in general. I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. By being open and saying yes to different things and meeting new people. That
Right,
that's kind of how I get inspired for these characters and these jokes. As a comedian, like you have to be open to observing everything that happens in your life and pay attention to the small details and people and things. Um, so yeah, man, like when I grew up in Toronto, which is, a melting pot of cultures and diversity. So that's been an advantage for me because I'm like, oh, I have friends who are Indian, Tamil, Persian, white, Arab, Chinese. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
yep.
my whole friend group is the United Nations. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
we got them all, and so that's where my inspiration stems from.
I see. So you kind of get that inspiration from your friends that you grew up with because I was born and raised in Toronto as well. You're kind of just thrown into all this multiculturalism that's
Yeah.
embedded in our culture and in our country. And like you said, you kind of come up with those creative ideas based off them, based off how were raised with them and grew up with them. So that's nice to hear. That's nice. Also, like, how do you find that fine balance between being a social media influencer and a comedian at the same time?
I see it both as like kind of like as one. I mean,
Okay.
one fuels the other. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm a
Yeah.
comedian. I'm at heart, the base of what I do. Like I'm a comedian first,
Hmm.
uh, and then I'm a content creator. You know what I'm saying? Like that by doing the content, I can be a successful comedian by like doing these live shows, going on tours. You know what I'm saying?
I
Um,
see.
but yeah, it all fuels each other. Like it's all cycling into each other.
I see. So neither one kind of overpowers the other. It's just kind
No,
of works in tandem, I guess.
yeah, it has to work together because that's the whole goal. My goal in general is to tour the world doing stand up. But like in order to do that, I have to pump out a lot of content online too. And so it's all just one job for me. I don't see it as separate jobs.
Hmm.
And I love both of them like pretty much equally. So
Yeah, yeah, I see. And like, since you love them both equally, you can speak on this. What were kind of your best moments as a content creator and comedian? What kind of like just was what like your highlight reel in this industry?
honestly, just getting the recognition from people around the world I never thought I would get.
Hmm.
So like I mentioned before, guys like Gary Vee and Hormozian Goggins, like all these people, like they would never have seen my stuff if I didn't put myself out there. And I didn't know this would ever happen this quickly either, right? Like sometimes people it takes them 10 years before they get recognized or whatever. But for me, it's obviously like I've been at this in total for almost 9 years, but really only in the past 3 or 4 years is when I started to get recognition for my videos
I
and for
see.
my content and my brand. So,
Hmm.
I guess like the highlights is more so just um being comfortable and confident in putting yourself out there every day and staying consistent
Right.
and being vulnerable, right? Like it's like because like there's many days, many videos that like bomb that just do terrible, and I've
Sure.
had more bomb videos than good ones, but the good ones outweigh the bombs every time
Yeah.
because
Sure, yeah.
that's what has built this recognition and the foundation of my brand.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know it's a cliche to always say like, yeah, your failures, if you learn from your failures and mistakes, you'll be successful, right? But
Yeah,
it is what it is,
true.
right? It's
It's
true.
true.
It's true.
You have to like otherwise
Otherwise, you
you're
can't
never
be
gonna learn.
successful, and you'll never learn. That's the
Yeah,
beauty of it. You'll never learn.
yeah.
Also, Nima, you can speak on this if you want to. If not, I just wanted to know: are there like any brand deals you're working with currently, or any collaborations you're currently doing?
No, we don't have any going on right now. our motto for our brand, like my team,
Yep.
and I mean by team I mean my brother and I for now,
Yep.
uh, is like we don't like to say yes to a lot of things
Mhm.
because I think there's power and value in really understanding and knowing your value and your brand enough to like not kind of say yes to all these different types of brands, because eventually what we realize is like the number one mistake a lot of creators and social media influencers make is like they do too many of these sponsored deals and brand deals, and their feed just kind of looks like an ad, like it's just
Yeah. Yeah. I know
a
what you mean.
commercial.
Mhm.
Every other video is just a commercial or is an ad.
Yep.
And it's kind of, as a consumer, from the consumer point of view, it's a little bit of a turnoff. And so that's why we've only done like 2 or 3 brand deals, but like they've been long partnerships rather than like one time transactions.
I see.
And I just feel like that kind of makes your brand look, it's a better look for your brand in
Yeah,
general.
I know what you mean. Like I see it too where on TikTok and Instagram where social media influencers, content creators, they have those sponsored, deals and they have those sponsored videos out on the For You, but they freaking just let it all out and it's just going to be so consistent that, it's going to be an ultimate turn off, like you said. So
Every time. Yeah.
yeah, you just got to find that fine line between it basically.
Yeah, it has to make sense. It has to really, if you're gonna do it, it has to make sense with you and your
Right.
brand more than
Exactly.
any.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's good because like the more you say no, the more you build your value, and by the time something good does come around, you can like charge really high and value yourself really high, and
Yeah.
and then it'll be worth it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Nima, I have my second last question. I'm going to wrap things up with my last question. So my second last question to you, this is very personal. What is your favorite type of Persian food? I want to know.
That's
Besides
not
kebab.
besides kebab. That's not personal. That's a valid question. Um, I'd say I don't know who are your viewers or not if they would know, but like
Rubio polo?
lubia polo with like the beef,
Same.
the
That's my
beef
favorite too.
melted in it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what's called the
Ground
fuck.
beef? Like ground beef?
Yeah, the ground beef, like it's just
Yeah.
made into mini balls.
Balls, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God, bro, that shit is crack.
Yeah. So
My
for those of you
favorite.
who don't know, Lubia polo is like this Persian dish, and it's like orange rice with like ground beef little balls in it with was it peas?
It's green beans. It's
Green
like
beans, right? String
smaller cut
beans,
green
yeah,
beans.
small green beans.
Yeah,
It's so yummy. It's so
it's
yummy.
so good, bro. Like
It's so good.
I think it's because the yellow rice, it's the saffron, right? It's
The
like I think,
saffron, yeah, it's like the yellow orangish rice.
yeah, it's the, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And it's really good. The tahdig, which is the
yeah,
crispy,
tahdig, yeah, the
it's
tahdig, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
best. It's the
It's
best.
fire. Yeah. Do you speak
Yeah.
Farsi
Yes, I do.
fluently?
Fluently, yes.
Oh, okay, nice. All right.
How about you? Do you speak Farsi
I
fluently?
do. Yeah, I don't. It's not really that fluent, but like,
No,
I,
I speak fluently. Yeah, I actually my mom and dad threw me into Farsi school,
okay.
forced me to go, and I didn't like it, but I went
Of course,
here.
who
And
does?
yeah, who does? Who does? Yeah,
I
so
did too. I did too, but I was like, nah, I'm not doing this, and I literally,
after second grade, because Nima,
yeah.
like before you go in, the teacher comes out and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll take care of your kids." When the door slams hard,
Yeah, you're done.
and then you see that the teachers, just like how the teachers teach the kids back in Iran,
Oh
they
yeah.
treat the same
Oh
thing.
yeah.
And I hate it because they treat you like animals, like they
I
don't
know.
treat you like a human being.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
yeah,
But hey, now you have a fluent language, so
exactly. That's good. That's good. I'm happy that I know fluent Farsi because I can get to talk to my grandparents and my
yeah,
aunt.
it's clutch. Yeah, it is good. Yeah. I think there's that's why I really am grateful that I at least understand it fully.
Hmm.
I can
Yeah,
like speaking
yeah,
it is like 75, 80% for me.
sure.
There's certain words I just can't think of when I'm saying a sentence. So
Same
I
for me. Yeah,
speak
same for me.
like
Yeah.
Finglish, like half Farsi, half English.
English, yeah, same with
Uh,
me. Yeah.
yeah, but at least better than nothing, better than not knowing it at all, because there's so many. And how old are you?
I'm 21.
Oh, you're so young. So like I'm 28, and even people my age in my generation
Yes.
already that are like me can't even speak Farsi, and they're Persian, and they're they grew up here just like I did, and so
Yeah, I know.
like
Like they don't
it's
know a lick of Farsi. They can't
weird. It's
speak it.
weird. I don't know how.
Yeah,
Uh,
just like
I-
few words here and there.
yeah, yeah. But like I don't understand because imagine like I imagine like because my parents obviously came from Iran 30 years ago. My dad got accustomed to speaking English very well over here because he had to work and for his job. But then my mom, she has a little bit more broken English. It's a little tougher for her.
Yeah,
So it's like I the only way we could really communicate is through Farsi
yeah,
this
exactly.
whole life.
Yeah,
But now I'm thinking like, man, imagine if I didn't know Farsi, like how would I talk to my mom?
exactly. Right. Like
That would be
that
so
would break
sad.
the barrier. Like you broke the barrier right then and there. And
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. Like my mom, she was more, better with learning English because she learned it in Iran and she had like extra, classes with English, extra curricular activities with English classes. But with my dad, he has broken English, like just like you said with your mom, just like your mom. So yeah, I mean, like, how can I like communicate? I could. It's just gonna be really difficult.
It'd be way harder. Yeah.
It's way harder, right?
Can't connect as much.
Yeah, Nima, this is beside like I just thought of this question right now. You can speak on it if you want to. What do you think about it was prominent, it's kind of died down now, but it's still I think a worthy cause to talk about the woman life freedom movement. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good movement, obviously. You know, obviously the things that happened last year were very tough for people to really grasp. And I don't know much else that's happening now, but
Yeah, same here.
it's just so detached, right? You're so detached when you're on this side of the world. But obviously it's like heartbreaking to hear the stuff that was happening. And uh yeah, man, our goal last year was to obviously help in the best way possible, which is like through laughter, which is what I know best. And so we actually did a fundraiser charity comedy show
Hmm,
last year around this time, like in October of 2022.
sure.
And all the proceeds, yeah, all the proceeds we put into building a small school in one of the regions in Iran for the kids.
That's
Uh,
amazing.
yeah, it's like I wish every day I'm like, man, I wish I could help more.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
even like people like posting on social media and stuff like that. Like it's fine, but like I don't think that really solves the problem. Like I think the real issue has to come from within the country itself. Like people
Exactly.
have to actually be there to fix whatever's happening. But I don't know. It's way far beyond what I know about that kind of stuff. That you
No,
know,
I totally understand. Like me here, like I can, because we were born and raised here, Nima, both of us, and we can kind of relate to our culture because it's really close. We don't want to see, our country suffer, especially the
yeah,
woman of the country who has just been so brave, dealing
yeah,
with animal police officers. I mean, I just hear the stories. I'm like, who are these people? They're most inhumane demons out there and they're just courageously fighting for their lives every single day. And I put myself in their position, like you could literally die in a second in that
yeah,
country, right? And we're like, God forbid we're not in that country and we're living over here in Toronto, safe and sound. But we could have been in their shoes. We could have like our
yeah,
parents could have been like, yo, you know what? We're not going to Canada. We're staying put. And if we still stayed put, we would be in that same situation as they are. So thank God we're not. And I hope to God everything, becomes better in that country because it's really a tragedy. I talk about this with my parents, and I'm talking about this because you're Persian, we're both Persian, and we can both relate. It's so sad to see how we had a dynasty in the Shah and the King of Iran, and to just dethrone him off the throne is a huge thing. Like, I just think, imagine like King Charles just gets dethroned from England. That's huge.
I
Like,
know,
that's
yeah,
monumental. That's going to be in the history books forever. And it is,
yeah,
unfortunately. But I mean, we could have had one of the best countries in the world if he
yeah,
didn't, if that God, that ill-mannered, disgusting, ugly human being didn't come and ruin
yeah,
the country, right?
yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised that something like this has happened because
Exactly.
it's
It's been
possible
some
that
time.
stuff like
It's been
this
some time.
happen. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm hopeful and optimistic that one day things will overturn and like the country can be back to its beautiful self. Because I've never been,
Oh, you
and
never been?
no,
Oh.
like
Oh,
I think when I was one, they went back for like
oh, okay.
months. I don't remember obviously, but like that's one of the saddest things for me in my life is that I can't go back to my home country.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
My
same here.
start from, you know.
Same
So
here. I went when I was younger, like when I was 5, 6. We went, when I was younger. And then my last time I was 9 years old, and I only went for a week. That was my mom's cousin's wedding we had to go to, but I barely remember it, right? Because I was
yeah,
a kid. I just see like glimpses, pictures here and there,
yeah,
like
I know.
the stores or the people, and they don't want you to see the things they're dealing with, the day to day life, because they want to hide that from you, which is sad because they shouldn't hide it. They should reveal it in a beautiful way.
Yeah,
People don't know, and it's really sad because their day-to-day life is so much different than the day-to-day life we have over here, and it's because of the regime, it's because of the government in place, and it's just so sad to watch and to witness. But we pray and we wish the best for that country, and we hope to uh, gain back the value and the worth, the dynasty back, and in some sort of shape or form.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm very hopeful that will happen one day.
Yeah.
And
So as we near the 5 minute mark, Nima, I'm just going to ask you one last question and we're going to wrap things up. So, in general, what type of advice do you have for people who want to get into this content creation comedy industry?
you have to just start, just do whatever is closest to you, like what you know the most in
Hmm.
your life. The theme of whatever your content is, like do what you think is right for your brand. Whether you're doing comedy, do what you think is funny. Whether you're doing podcasts, talk about whatever you interests you. You get it right. So
Yeah.
it's just about starting and like getting it out there. Like you can't worry about the quality right away. You have to just
Right.
worry about the quantity. You have to
Exactly.
you have to get used to like the hour, like putting in the time, and the consistency of posting an episode every week or every day or whatever it is. But as long as you're staying consistent, I think that's the key, at least for the first few years, even. Um, and then eventually you'll get to a point where you find your voice, you get in a rhythm, and you realize, oh, okay, like maybe people like this stuff more than this stuff. Then you kind of double down on this stuff,
Exactly.
and that's when you'll really um you'll really spring, and your content will start to flourish. So
Exactly. No, that I totally, I agree with you, with the words and statements you just made. Yeah, I just got to stay consistent and just never give up. Because I started last year, put some videos out, and then I took them down immediately because I was just afraid of the negative reception. But my friends were telling me like, dude, you're gold. Like, don't worry about these couple of guys who just come out and say this. They're either jealous or they don't have anything better to do. So just worry
yeah,
about yourself and just go with the flow. Like I have Nima Naz. Like I can't believe this is actually happening still. So yeah, thank you so
yeah.
much.
Honestly, and sorry, another thing too is,
Yeah, sure,
yeah,
yeah.
when inevitably you get hate comments or whatever it is, like none of that shit matters. Like I've never deleted any videos I've ever posted from
Mhm.
the beginning, and
Oh,
so
yeah, that's
like
good.
because I'm not worried. Like I'm like, all right, whatever, man. Like this is shit. Of course, it's gonna be garbage right now when I'm new. Like it's gonna be bad for the first little while, because like if you're not bad at first, how are you gonna get better? So you can't think, oh, this has to be perfect or this has to be quality, because first of all, the quality is not up to you. The quality is up to the market. The market decides what quality is on your videos,
Mhm.
right? By the feedback you get. And so but the main part here is to take that feedback with a grain of salt and not let it affect you negatively or too positively either.
Exactly.
You have
Yeah.
to like still stay in line with what you want to do and keep that going. And it's like I'm not saying be delusional and don't listen to anybody, because
Mhm.
at some point, if something's not working for like 2 years, then you have to reevaluate what
Yeah,
you're
yeah. I
doing, right?
understand. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's just about being self-aware and having humility to understand that everything's not going to be perfect. And even to this day, like videos, like I said, videos of mine to this day bomb, they tank, and I think they're good. But it is what it is. Like I never delete them. I just let it sit. And the thing is, like, if no one sees it, no one sees it. Who
Yeah,
cares?
it is
Keep
what it
going.
is.
Like
Yeah, keep
eventually,
going.
people will see it, and so that's what really matters.
Exactly. So, Nima, wise words, my friend. Thank you for saying all this beautiful information to me and to all my viewership. Neema Naz, you can follow him on his Instagram and TikTok. I'll put that in the link in the description below. Thank you so much, Nima, for doing this. I really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on, and all the best on your episodes. Keep.